What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. You are standing outside Union Martial Arts, aka the Anastacio headquarters. This is my business, this is my baby. I want to show you guys all the renovations we've done over the pandemic to prepare for our reopening. So let's head inside, let's check it out.
Always got the vibe, got the vibe, got the vibe, got the vibe.
All right, so we are standing in the lobby reception area. It's a little impartial right now because technically we aren't allowed to have a reception area. We're gonna see what they're gonna say when we do reopen, but usually it'd be filled with all the chairs here. We're currently using these stools to border off the parking lot for our outdoor classes. We just keep it on standby. But very light stuff. We got a couple plants here that were gifted: the snake plant, money plant for good luck. Typically the way you would walk in, come in, drop off your shoes here, sanitize, check in temperature, attendance card. You'd head all the way to the change room and then to the mats. But some of the improvements that we have done here, so we still have the reception TV up here. That reception TV gives us our, pretty much like our monthly overview. It says all the way from when our sparring days are, if we have seminars, gradings, as well as reminders if we need students to bring in particular equipment, as well as birthdays for all the kids and all the adults, just to show that, you know, you're more than just a number. It gives a little bit more of a home team family feel. So that's always been there. Now, a couple of things that we did improve is this guy right here. We used to have a much smaller screen. This is actually the smart TV that used to be in the academy, which you'll see in a bit when we turn that into. But I use this for pretty much all of my interactions with clients, with students. When they come up here, I basically use this as a second screen to show everything from the schedule to the pricing of membership, literally everything. It's a great way to interact. It's a great way to have a professional kind of display as opposed to just giving them a bunch of papers or, you know, taking your computer, giving them a computer, giving it back, and you accidentally have Amazon open in the background. Second thing that we did here is we got this glass door fridge. This was actually a gift to me from one of my students, and it's a great display as well. Usually filled with a bunch of water bottles, some Monster, and students can purchase that if they forgot their own water. It gets hot in the gym, it gets hot outside, so this is great. During the night, when we have all the lights on, we have our wonderful pot lights that were installed by Grand Maestro Rolly, Guru Sam, my brother, and my father, in a sense. But that nice blue light there gives it a little bit more of a display. Okay, everything else is pretty much the same. I have my belts up here. From white belt to black belt in Kuntao, I got some plaques. This was awarded to me when I earned my Maestro from Grand Maestro John Bias in 2017. This was my first certificate of excellence as a teacher. This is my grand championship when I was competing actually as a yellow belt. And I beat out pretty much everyone under black belt at the time. So that was great. This means a lot to me. Pro shop wall, uniforms, t-shirts, fight shorts. You guys probably see me in this all the time. This is our Anastacio uniform. And then we usually wear red pants or we wear these shorts. And again, pretty much every video. I have more than one pair. Trust me, guys. I don't just wear the same thing over and over and over again. Okay? But that's pretty much it. All the reception stuff is done here. And then what we would do is we would cross over past the no shoes beyond this point, and we're gonna head into the change room. On our list is the change room. So we have a men's and women's change room. It's very simple, pretty much mirrored from each other. Let's check out one of them and see what's in it. You walk down the hallway, make a nice little turn here. And it's a small area, guys. You pretty much change, do your business, get out. But one of the upgrades we did do is we got these 5-foot mirrors here. Ideally, I'd like this whole wall to be a mirror, but these walls are kind of hollow, and if students push up on it, I don't want any glass falling. So this is the best alternative, a standalone mirror. We got the little stools in here. They change, do their thing, and then they head on out. So they don't actually leave anything in here. And what they would do is they bring it to the cubbies, and pretty much one cubby per student. You can pretty much put everything you need in here. Your phone, wallet, keys, bag, water bottle, all that stuff. And then this is in sight from the mats, and it's easily stowed away where everyone can continue using the change room and you don't have to wait too long to cycle in and out. So next is the washroom, and the washroom probably had the most noticeable renovations. We pretty much gutted it and turned it into a new washroom that looks like it belongs in here. It starts all the way from out here. We changed the doorknobs. They were these old gold, really scratched up doorknobs, and we replaced it with these nice modern black handlebars, and it again goes along with the theme of the gym, and I'll talk about that a little later on. But if we check out in here, was we painted the entire gym Union Gray. We took the floor out. It used to be this floor right here. We cut that off. There was tiles underneath. We just simply painted that with industrial paint, as well as the baseboards to give it a little bit more of a gray tone. Once you get inside here, we have a new vanity, new faucet, new sink. Again, another gray vanity here to store all of the cleaning equipment, toilet paper, all that good stuff. We did a white tile backsplash towards the back of the vanity here, and that is accompanied by this bad boy, which is our illuminated screen. You might have seen that in a few videos before, but this can dim down if you wanted to. Just gives a little bit more brightness. You can double check as you're washing your hands. Everything looks good. When you're all ready to go, you head on out and you get back to training. Grand finale, we are standing in the matted area, the training area. So a lot of things went down here. First and foremost, these big guys we got installed. These are custom made hangman style heavy bag stands. So they are mounted all the way into the ground. These were normally 9 feet. We had to get them cut down to 7 3/4 to meet the capacity of our ceiling. And because of that, we opted with the 5-foot heavy bags. We are missing one bag here right now. Might be a teardrop bag, might be an aqua bag, we'll see what we do. But this is our new heavy bag station. It gives the gym a very high level feel. It is not necessary to operate, but it is a great aesthetic and even better to train with because it just lets you pick up that training that maybe a standalone bag doesn't give you. In this area as well, we replaced the mats. So we used to have 2 different sets of mats, and this is a big topic that I spoke about in a couple of videos. So what we did was we sold the other set. We used that money towards these new mats here, 20 new pieces. And what we had to do was actually this gray that you can see here that separates the borders. This was our original mats. And these, for some reason, is a 1-of-1 Union Gray. So in order to get the same kind of mats that actually interlock, that fit, we had to get the closest thing, which is a lighter gray. And to save some money, what we opted to do was to turn it into 3 different rings of black because they are reversible instead of having one solid piece of gray. So this right here is a 3x3, and then you have 2 4x4s towards the main side of the mats. Now the best thing about that is it is already prepared for tournaments that we can host in here. It is prepared for group training. It'll naturally organize the class as it goes along. And it also gives the idea that the gym's a little bigger. Instead of looking at all gray where you can't really tell the differences, it kind of worked out because when you count the tiles and you look at the rings and you notice there's 3 rings, standing from the corner looking at everything, it looks dramatically bigger than before, which is great. This entire building is just a little over 1,800 square feet. We want this place to feel comfortable. We want it to feel not like you're being squished in, and we want to fill it with the best stuff possible. So if you follow me this way, the next thing, obviously you've seen this for a while, but this is our filming wall. The walls were originally white. We took that Union Gray, we painted a little bit higher towards this wall here to replicate almost like the tatami mat walls. We painted it half just to give a little bit more of a tone along the gym as well. Once we did that, we decided to add in the Anastacio trademark logo in white. So everything else would be transparent to the gray. This is what you see when you obviously watch the videos, when you watch the training programs, the tutorials. And this was one of the biggest pieces that I wanted. I wanted identity in the gym. I wanted people to come in here, and yes, obviously you could see that there's a color theme, but this is our place, okay? This is where we train. This is where Anastacio goes down, and this resonates very, very well with students. And again, it makes it feel like that we belong here. We're not just here putting together random stuff. We're not just here renting out of someone else's building. We are here. We're fortunate enough to be in a place that we can call home forever. Next thing on the list as we walk down the mat, like I said, we used to have the old smart TV mounted up here. That's where I would put my lesson plans. We've replaced that with a 40-inch smart TV so I can stream Amazon Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus for day camps for the kids. Again, I can put my lesson plan up there. So the screen is absolutely big enough that no matter where you stand on the mats, you'll be able to read it. It gives great structure, gives students an idea of what we're training today. And as a staff member, if I don't know what the curriculum is off the top of my head, if I don't know what we're trying to teach, we kind of have that to refer back to. It's very easy as an instructor. You could be teaching, you notice one thing, you roll off of that idea, and then you forget what the original game plan was, and that solves all your problems. So we have that mounted now. You can move it, you can pull it out, you can tilt it if you want to. Works perfectly fine. The next thing on the list that we decided to upgrade was our sound bar. So we got this Sony sound bar with the wireless subwoofer. The one we used to have was handed down to me. It served its purpose, it was great. The only downfall about it was it was slightly older, so it didn't have Bluetooth, and the aux cord port was dying out, so when you unplug it, you get that annoying buzzing noise. And the thing is, when I play music for my striking classes, for my grappling classes, for sparring, I either have my phone in my hand, I can change it with my watch, and it has a remote, so I don't have to run back here, pause, talk to everyone, teach, and then unpause, and then run back to my post. I can literally do it from anywhere I want in the gym, which makes the flow of class that much better. Plus, this thing is extremely loud, so it just makes the ambiance of training in here feel much more like a big gym. Everything else here is pretty much the same, other than the fact we bought a couple more equipment. We bought some striking mitts, some focus mitts for our students when they come back to incorporate a lot more Dutch kickboxing drills, a lot more partner drills, and that just gives the opportunity to be a little bit more hands-on. So you're training on both sides. We keep you moving throughout the whole class. And the biggest, if not one of the biggest upgrades that we did to the gym, as you can see behind me, we have white blackout vinyl shades, and we have that to every single window in the matted area for a total of 10. This was one of the biggest concerns that I had. Number one, I wanted more privacy. We don't have anyone prying through the windows as we're trying to teach and focus. On the mornings and the days that we're training when the sun is beaming in, this will block out the UV, the heat, keep us a little bit more cooler in here. And on top of that, towards the evening, especially if there's snow outside, the light's reflecting off that. All of the cars would park in the parking lot to the side here, and all of the light from their headlights would shine straight in. So when my students are sitting down, they're getting blinded by the light. Looks like they have a question, but actually they're just trying to make sure they don't get blinded as they try to listen to me. So now we could take that away from them without taking away the option for sunlight. As you can see, it's pretty bright in here. We don't have the lights on right now, and we can get that natural sunlight and give us a little bit of nature in here as we look outside to the wonderful trees and whatnot. But that is pretty much the upgrades to the gym. So we did quite a bit over the break that we were forced to take, but we didn't just sit around. We took the initiative that we had some downtime. We decided to upgrade as much as we can so that when we do get to the point of training back inside here, it's gonna be the elite academy that we wanted it to be. Everything is centered around teaching, but all of these things that you see really deliver a stronger product and also helps on the business side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So block chick counter on the inside for 7, 8. Cruzada to the outside, and then abanico and strike. That's all the way to 10. So it naturally favors, it naturally favors the outside, okay?
But sometimes we don't go on the outside like this. We're on the inside. We're on the inside. So, personally, the best thing you can do in double stick is obtain the outside angle. So we're gonna change up our response to this, to the angles, and we're gonna assume that they're striking first this time. We're not making them block. He gives me an angle 1. I'm trying to get here. Okay? So I'm gonna use a gunting. That's a right hand umbrella block going to the left, and my left stick is shutting it down. So when he strikes me here, go all the way through till your hand's closed. Okay? When you shadow it, it looks like this. I want you to go all the way through so that we're in a position to counter from here. Okay? Now this is very important. We're gonna start on one side only. Okay? When we go to the gunting, for the purpose of zoning and obtaining the outside angle, I'm gonna consume the space with my sticks, not with my body. So when I'm here, I wanna be able to strike and have confidence that when I strike, it's my sticks that are creating impact, not me over here breathing in his neck. Okay? If you wanna grapple him, that's a different story. I wouldn't suggest it with 2 sticks. It's possible, don't get me wrong, but I'm disconnecting from him. As soon as I pass it out here, I obtain the angle. Okay? My control is all in my offense right now. Does that make sense? Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
So I want you to adjust your 45. Instead of you thinking you have to go like this, where you're going more forward, I want you to think you're going more sideways, but don't sidestep like that. Okay? Still cut an angle. Because in some cases, you might change it like this. And if that was a sword, I'd cut his arm. So we still want to feel like we're slipping and attacking, but not too close, not too far, where we can sit a wally, we can counter with whatever we want. I'm gonna leave that part up to you. No more than 2 to 3 seconds of countering. Don't waste your breath on that. Okay, but at least put it in your body like we did earlier. Be ready to do something. Be ready to continue. Okay? Because if we're on the outside angle, if this fails, this fails, this fails, this fails, he rebuttals, I'm on the outside and I can stay here and continue to pass things off or obtain a different angle. If he attacks with his left hand, I have much more freedom. Okay? It's very rare I'm gonna find someone who's gonna listen to me like this, especially if they have even somewhat of decent skill or confidence in themselves. So remember, one of the principles in Anastacio is never underestimate your opponent. He may look like a nice guy, but when he strikes, I am not so sure how this is gonna look. So I'm gonna be a little bit on the safe side here, and I'm gonna go somewhere where I know it's safe for me to do something, to turn the tides, and then I go on the offense. Because I know that strike's gonna finish. Ideally, you'd want it to finish. So go ahead, finish it. Just don't let me be there so I can hit you on this off angle right here. Does that make sense? Yes, sir?
Yes,
And
sir.
then whether from there you push him forward, so ideally I would like to do this, and I go forward towards him like that, and my strikes are hitting him, he's kind of like retracting like this. That's what I like to do. And if he has the confidence that I thought he did, and I'm striking here, he fires back again, and I can work here, and then start striking a continuous, almost applicable Siddle volley from that point. Okay, so I want you to stay on that one side first against the angle 1. So you guys understand how far you need to be in terms of zoning away from your opponent. Then we're gonna plug in number 2, and then we're gonna jump the gun a little bit, and hopefully we have enough time to get to 9 and 10. That makes sense? Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, so I just want to break down that last sequence of clips that showed you all the upgrades from the pandemic and what we've been able to do with the Anastacio headquarters, aka Union Martial Arts. So in total, I spent about $7,000, just a little bit under. And a lot of it was just the cost of material. Putting it together was either done by myself or some close friends that I know that are able to help me. And so obviously you don't want to expect people to help you. It's great to know things. You could YouTube a bunch of stuff, but having that network definitely helped out in terms of the labor costs. Probably the most expensive parts to the renovations were the blackout vinyl shades that you saw in the academy, as well as the heavy bag mounts. The heavy bag mounts were about $1,800, and then the shades were just over $1,600. That's taxes included, that's in Canadian, and that's also installed. So you don't necessarily have to spend $7,000. You could spend less. You could probably spend more, because I did get very good quality things, but there's obviously better things you can do. It ultimately depends on your unit size and your circumstances. But the main thing I want you guys to take away from all that is doing all the smaller things that will eventually add up will make a huge difference than just getting that one big thing, okay? Having a theme, having a brand to your gym, to your business makes it feel complete. It makes it feel like it's meant to be there. As I was talking about, this Union Gray, this logo behind me, all the way down to the gray and black mats, to the paint on the wall, to the reception, the font, everything. You got to come with a kind of a master plan. And I really want you guys to understand how important that is, because when you have a client or a student coming in to sign up with you and they're going to spend their hard-earned money into an investment in themselves, you know, potentially hundreds of dollars, you got to give them a reason to. And of course, the reason should be your ability to train, your ability to teach, all of that stuff, right? But at the same time, they want to feel welcomed. They want to feel like the facility is going to take care of them as well as the staff. They want to be able to feel like their money is going towards a good place. And it's very difficult to show that from day one. Even after a free trial, which is, you know, one of my most successful tools when it comes to acquiring new students, but it's everything around you because it is a reflection of you. So if your gym has all these funky colors, unless that's the theme, funky colors, and it looks like you just gathered things from a garage sale, that's how they're going to perceive your value. Because I know that these TVs are obnoxious. I know that certain things aren't necessarily necessary to operate, but to scale and to grow as a business, you have to have that professionalism. You have to put in the little bit of details and maybe a little bit of money that most people won't. And that's huge. That's huge. And that's something that can't be taken away from you, no matter what direction you want to go in business, whether you want to continue teaching for the rest of your life, or eventually you want to build up staff and have them delegate certain roles, so on and so forth, right? There's so many things you can do, but it all starts with that brand. When it comes to martial arts specifically, the first and foremost important thing is cleanliness. Before you think about how aesthetic your gym is, you have to make sure you maintain it very well. You have to make sure that when they walk in, it's not dusty, it's not dirty, it's not smelly, they don't see stains, there's not sweat marks all over. Presentation is very important, whether it's with yourself or it's within your facility. And once again, guys, this facility should be a reflection of myself first and then my staff. So having to uphold yourself a particular way is very important, not just the way you speak and you interact with people, but of course the way that you present yourself. And that's a whole nother story. But if we just keep it here, guys, cleanliness, I'd have to say, is the number one reason why someone would choose your facility. The second thing would be the amenities and obviously the convenience of training there. Your scheduling, your class times, your pricing, obviously, it all has to make sense, but pricing is probably the last thing on the list, because if you can prove that you are worth it, there are people out there that are willing to pay over $100, $200. You know, it's the time that's important, and the time that they're investing plus their money has to feel like it's going towards a good cause. So keep all that in mind. I don't want to spend too much talking about this costs that much, that costs that much. If you guys are really interested, let me know. I'm sure you guys are smart shoppers. I'm sure you guys can find a good deal on the internet using discount codes and all that stuff. But ultimately, it starts with having a plan. It starts with being able to formulate the identity of your academy, something that can be represented by not just yourself, but your staff and other people who are part of your team, and being able to maintain that to continue keeping the door open and making people want to be here, which will ultimately bring in more people, whether it's just through social media and they see it, or through word of mouth, which is very powerful to this day. But that's about it, guys. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. We are going heavy with the outdoor classes. We're expected to be opening up in here in a few weeks. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you guys want to grab yourself an Anastacio Kali shirt, they are available at anastaciokali.com. Links in the description box. And as always, guys, stay safe. Until next time, catch you guys then.